Hello, everyone. It's been over 24 hours since the serial blasts in Kerala, and details are coming in on Dominic Martin, who's believed to be the main suspect. He himself has confessed to the crime. We have Veera Raghav joining us to give us a perspective of what exactly is the Jehovah Witnesses, and also Neeta Sharma, who tracks the national investigation agencies for us. I'm going to begin with you, Veera. What do we know about Dominic Martin now?
Well, apart from the fact that he's made his own confession, and as it's been reported across the board, he's made a confession, went and surrendered before the police, and said that he had, in principle, issues with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Which, Marya, just to give you a bit of perspective, this is a 18th century global kind of Christian group, which was, of course, part of those who were persecuted in the Nazi regime in Germany as well. They have a presence over 240 countries. About 4,000 members of the sect are there in Kerala. Some beliefs where we believe that they literally follow everything that's literally written in the Bible. They don't join armies. They don't have priests. They have certain strong conservative radical beliefs, if you can call that. And of course, in 1985, interestingly, Marya, two children from whose parents were part of the sect had refused to sing the national anthem, because of which they were expelled from school. The matter went up to Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court said that they had to be reinstated back in school. So that's pretty much what we know about Jehovah's Witnesses. But of course, a quiet group which minds their own work in that bit. But in the global context of what's happening, obviously because of the attack that happened there, it sparked off several different conversations on it. Of course, all that put, for the moment, as far as the police is concerned, they're going only on the track of the confession that's been made by Dominic Martin.
Okay. Neeta, what is the NIA telling you? I've been reading reports which suggest that NIA perhaps is not going with standalone version, because if you look at the IED which was used for this blast, so certainly, and he knew that there are 2,500 people present in this convention center in Samra. So the
Absolutely.
intention and motive certainly was maximum impact. So what is the National Investigation Agency telling you?
See, as far as the NIA is concerned, obviously they're going to probe every angle, Marya. But we need to see this blast even in the context. When these pro-Palestine kind of protests was starting all over India, even Kerala police was warned by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Intelligence Bureau unit, saying that each and every state needs to keep out a watch on these kind of protests wherever they're happening. Whether it's Jammu and Kashmir, we had seen these protests happening in Delhi also, even J&K took adequate precautions. As far as Kerala is concerned, the same kind of an alert was shared with them also. So now, obviously, questions are being raised that if there was an alert, what kind of, security measures did the Kerala police adopt? Then we also need to see this Martin, he says that his own family members were also in the gathering, and that is why he had kept this IED far away from them. So obviously, he knew where his family members are going to sit. Another thing which needs to be pointed out here is, the organizers of this meeting, they apparently were making announcements that if there is a fire or if there is a blast, you need to take this escape route. So if that kind of planning was being done by the organizers, what was the police doing? What was the local police doing? Because we have seen it was a huge gathering, but as of now there have been three people have only been, they have only suffered major injuries, although major injuries have been suffered by many, but 3 have died in the blast. So if the impact, he exactly knew where to keep the IED. He says that he made this IED as low as of 3,000 rupees, So the DGP also says that what kind of ingredients did he use? So those are the aspects which the NIA is obviously going to probe. As far as profile is concerned, he's a plumber, he's a local plumber. Obviously, he had gone to Dubai, he came back from there 2 months back, and he was a very silent fellow, did not interact with people. In fact, his wife also said that she's shocked that he has done such a kind of a thing. But NIA is obviously going to look into the wholesome picture, the kind of, the radicalization, because we have seen PFI, even PFI role is being examined. A whole lot of other roles are going to be examined, because they are obviously going to investigate in a broader perspective. Marya?
When you say that he's a local plumber who moved from Middle East to Ernakulam, where he was staying. There are reports also suggesting, Neeta, that till 3 years back he was very much part of Jehovah Witnesses. What made him become completely disillusioned in the last 3 years?
See, as of now, we only know what statement he has told police. Obviously, he has not told everything. Police is obviously minutely also, verifying his claims also, which also includes that he procured an ID for as low as 3,000 rupees. What kind of ingredients did he use? So every aspect, the local police is obviously going to probe that also, but NIA is obviously going to probe the broader perspective, the kind of radicalization that has been growing in Kerala, in certain states. So those are the bits that they are going to probe. Also, NSG was also there. They were also looking at the components of the bomb, what kind of a bomb was made. So each and every bit of aspect, both the NSG and the NIA are going to probe. Marya?
So Kerala police, Veera, till late last night was interrogating Dominic Martin. There are several eyewitnesses who were present there who are now giving versions, multiple versions that are coming in out, are also talking about this blue sedan which left the scene of the crime, scene of the terror attack. Soon after the blast, the explosions happened. In terms of investigation, purely, Veera, what makes this group uh, and its members, somebody who was associated with it and has taken this position 3 years later?
Well, I think it would be very difficult. One would see it more as a one off in terms of the group instead of stereotyping a particular group. As I mentioned, yes, it's a conservative group. It's a Christian sect which has had, as I mentioned, the history from the 18th century onwards, about 4,000 members. So it's a very small fringe sect that's down there. Obviously, some beliefs may not be what the mainstream would accept or endorse. But having said that, it's not one that for instance, they don't join the armies. There's no streak of violence or any of those kind of aspects associated with this group, Marya. So just to put that thing in perspective, that it could be just a one-off instead of stereotyping a group or an individual before we
Fine.
get concrete information. But as far as what you're saying, I think there are three aspects. One is, I believe he has told the police, Dominic Martin has told the police that he learned how to make the bomb from the internet. The ingredients that he used in terms of it. Obviously, there is a concern over how this was available. As Neeta was pointing out, there were 6 exits in the congregation hall, which allowed the evacuation of people easily from that point of time. So, in terms of what measures are, I think it's the global context of what's happening in the Israel-Palestine war at the moment, Israel-Hamas war at the moment, that's resulted in several different connotations coming over this. Now, till there is concrete evidence, I think it would be very difficult to come up with any conclusion. And at the moment, the only bit of concrete evidence that's there is the confession. Now, remember that this is a voluntary confession, someone who's come down to the police, posted it on social media, and come down to the police. So that's purely the concrete line of investigations. They are seeing. Investigators, obviously, as Neeta pointed out, will have to look at every possible angle to it. Nobody is disputing that. But for the moment, given this information and given his confession, it looks like an individual who was disenchanted with the group and who has gone ahead and committed this act. Now, why, what, when, we need to wait for more concrete details to emerge as these investigations proceed.
Yes, so it is a lone wolf, is what Veera is saying. But is NIA believing that? The reason why I'm saying so is because the Home Minister had a word with the Chief Minister. The NIA team is going to be on the ground. What makes NIA think that there could be a larger conspiracy? And when they say that, is this really a terror plot then? Neeta.
See, even if it's a lone wolf, Maria, it needs to be investigated to the T, because the kind of situation that we are dealing with right now, the festival season is approaching. So obviously, each and every state is also on alert, whether it's Delhi or other states, also other metros, also routinely the Home Ministry's internal security units passes on such information that you need to be on alert. But with this. Triggering in Kerala, you obviously need to be more alert, because it can also blow up. Because we have also seen the kind of protests, small protests, whether they're even smaller in number, they are happening in Delhi also, they are happening in UP also. So these are states which you need to keep an eye on. So obviously NIA feels that even if it's a lone wolf kind of a attack, the kind of there has to be someone who has helped him, because he drew a chart, he drew where he's going to keep the bomb. He kept in mind that his family members are also going to be there. He kept in mind that there are these many exits. So even if the casualty number is 2 or 3, so he kept in mind. So there was a certain kind of a planning, which a lone person, a person who people claim that he's a very soft spoken person and doesn't speak to people much and he keeps to himself, it seems like difficult. Though when he put out his statement on the Facebook, then he deleted it. But the NIA obviously feels that it must be having more arteries, or maybe having more connections, and that is what the NIA is going to probe. Even the Home Minister, when he spoke to the Chief Minister of Kerala, we also know the kind of politics which is going on in this case between center and state. Different parties rule center and state. So each and every aspect, keeping that in mind also, the NIA will probe it further. Marya?
Okay, talking specifically now, Veera, about the politics that is going on. There are ministers in the central government who perhaps jumped the gun to make an announcement that this was because of Kerala becoming radicalized. Although there are groups which are clearly saying that he is from a particular community, and just about every community can have their elements who may be completely disillusioned with the same faith or
Right.
belief. So talking about the politics of it, Veera, where is it exactly coming from?
Maria, obviously there are political agendas left, right, and center. Right now, the question is very simple. In a case of this nature, I think it's extremely unfair to make a presumption before there is any concrete evidence. And as I mentioned, that the only concrete evidence with the police is the accused himself. Also, the use of words like lone wolf or attack, Maria, just to point out, may suggest something of a broader conspiracy. Well, we don't know what the whole connotation is at the moment. So, given the political context of it, yes, it's a charged atmosphere, and perhaps allegations could result in too much surround sound instead of concrete evidence and information. But once there is concrete evidence and information, as Neeta pointed out, obviously the NIA will be looking at it, and no one's going to take this lightly. No one's going to take any of this on face value, including the accused's confession, will be probed in further. And even if it's taken on that face value, there are several other deeper questions, as Neeta pointed out, which will be raised and taken. Number one. Number two, Maria, more importantly, the fact that one, if it is true, if it is on face value, the fact that one could understand how to make a device of this nature from the internet and just coming out and placing it at a particular place does point out to a serious security lapse. And as I also said, given the larger global context at the moment, which is why this will not be taken lightly, and given the past that there are radical outfits in Kerala. Now, it is completely disconnected to this, but there are radical outfits in Kerala. There has been, there has been an undercurrent as far as Kerala, not now, as Neeta would point out, from the last couple of decades, whether it's PFI or other things. But at the moment, I think that's a that's a different line. And this is, at the moment, a specific case that will have to be probed further. What evidence and what the officers put out in front of us in terms of concrete details and information is the only yardstick for assessing what this could be eventually.
Final word to you, Neeta. 24 hours on, is there a difference of opinion as far as investigations are going on between Kerala police and the NIA?
See, the Kerala police is also banking on the statement of the accused Martin, who they claim that he's been detained and now would be arrested. So the FIR has been registered. The NIA will also start its investigations from a zero point of view. Say they will also interrogate Martin and then go forward if he has linkages, the kind of wires which have been, the IED which has been picked up from the blast site, that would be examined. So obviously they would be examining other issues also, but they would be taking on from where the Kerala police has left off as far as the investigations are concerned. Marya?
Okay, we have Pratibha joining me from Ground Zero in Kerala. Pratibha, where you are, what are you picking up as far as the investigations go?
Well, I'm just walking out of the press conference that was arranged by Rajiv Chandrasekhar, where he was talking about the kind of investigation and how the terror angle needs to also be explored. Well, the investigating agencies are looking at it in two different angles. One is definitely the terror angle because of the timing of the incident. Just 2 days ago, we are talking about a rally that was held in different parts of Kerala where they expressed solidarity with the Palestinians, and the gathering was also addressed by a senior Hamas leader. And on the other side, we are talking about a person named Dominic Martin, who has come forward surrendering to the police, claiming that he would be claiming responsibility for this attack. Also mentioning that he does not really concur with the ideology of the religious gathering of Jehovah Witnesses who were present there during the convention. So these are the two-pronged approach that is being adopted by the investigating agencies. The fact that central agencies are also involved, like the NIA as well as the NSG, suggests that they are not yet ruling out the terror angle with UAPA as well as the Explosives Act that have been invoked.
What is the nature of the FIR? Because FIR has been registered. What do we know about the FIR? Could you share us some details, please?
Well, the FIR that is being registered has invoked three different parts. One is the Explosives Act, the other is the UAPA, and the third is 302 of the IPC, which is mentioning attempt to murder. And they haven't named the accused as yet, even though we have a person named Dominic Martin who has come forward and who is being extremely intensely interrogated by the police. At this point in time, they are keeping both the angles open, and which is precisely why the accused hasn't been mentioned in the FIR.
And the motive, what are you picking up on the motive? What really is the motive behind this? And as sources in NIA are telling Neeta, that Dominic Martin's family was also present at this convention center, and he placed a bomb at a distance so that the family doesn't get impacted.
Yes, this is one of the information that we are picking up here with Dominic Martin's family, who was also present at the gathering. Dominic seems to be a very mild-mannered person, is what we are hearing from the owner of the house. And we are also hearing that he was present at the Gulf for about 2 years. And just 2 months ago, he returned from there. And his son, as well as his daughter, are here present. The son who was studying in the UK, the daughter who's working in an IT firm. The entire family was definitely in a state of shock. They have locked themselves inside the house, and they knew about Dominic's presence at the venue only after the video that surfaced on social media, where he has mentioned or claimed responsibility for this drastic attack. In the meantime, we are also looking at the owner of Dominic's home, where he has suggested that he has always kept religion to himself. All that people knew was that he believed in Christianity, but none of them really knew about any kind of unpleasantness that he had with respect to Jehovah Witnesses or the values that they presented.
Marya, just to add to what
Yes.
Pratibha was saying in terms of the FIR, I think he's not primarily an FIR was named on the incident. Now he has come up after that and he is being investigated. So to assume that his name has not been put in the FIR and hence there is a different line of investigation that's also, I mean, to make that inference out of that one point may not be accurate. The fact is that his name has not been included in the FIR till the pending interrogation, complete interrogation. Then his possibly name will be there.
Yes, before I wrap up this conversation, also one information from you, Pratibha. Those injured, because we are told that there are several people who are with multiple burn injuries. The third casualty was reported of a 12-year-old. What about others? Are they recovering well? I think we have lost that connection with Pratibha. But Veera and Pratibha and Neeta, thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your perspective, because this was an important story about which we thought that we'll get the experts and delve further into it. Thanks so much for watching.